Good afternoon on this Tisha B'Av, the fast day that we mourn the destruction of two temples, the saddest day in the Jewish calendar. And the question you might ask is, okay, we're sad, the temple was destroyed, two temples were destroyed, but it happened so many years ago. And why are we mourning in such a detailed way? We sit on the floor, we don't sit on a chair, we don't eat, we don't drink, we don't bathe, we don't go swimming, we don't listen to music. In fact, yesterday, the last meal we had, we took egg and we dipped it into ashes to remember the destruction of the temple, the burning temple. Why so many details? And why are we showing so much pain visibly for the destruction of the temple? And the answer might be, or part of the answer, in the Shema that we read every day. Every single day, we read the Shema. And in this week's Torah portion is where the Shema is actually written. And the Shema, the beginning of the Shema, has three components. First we say, V'ahavtas Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafsha. Love your God with all your heart, with all your might. Then we say, V'hayu advarim ele asher nechitzav chayim alav b'cha. These words that you study, the Torah that you study, should be on your heart. And then we say, V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. That you should teach your children the Torah. So what's the connection between these three things? A, to love God with all your heart and your mind. B, to place these things, the Torah, on your heart. And three, to teach it to your children. And Davud Aram says something very beautifully. He says like this, you see, the Torah is really trying to tell you, how are you able to transmit the Torah to the next generation? It's all about continuity, it's all about the future, it's all about the next generation. How do you transmit it to the next people? The Torah tells you, V'ahavtas Hashem Elokecha. You have to love God. When you love God, and V'hayu advarim ele, when you place God in your heart, you don't just learn and study Judaism from an intellectual component, but it's in your heart. It's something you love, it's something you hold dear. Then you're guaranteed continuity, because the children will see the same. Because at the end of the day, Judaism isn't taught, it's caught. It's contagious. Our children see what we're passionate about, what we love, what we're excited about. And that's what they do. Says Davud Aram, that's what the Shema is telling you. First of all, you have to love God. But it's not enough to love God and then do mitzvahs intellectually. You have to place it on your heart. You have to do it with a sense of passion, with a sense of love. And then you're able to transmit it to the next generation. But there's something even more, maybe. You see, when you teach children, you have to make sure it's coming from a place of love. When you tell your children what to do, it has to be in a way that's loving, in a way that's nurturing. Because ultimately, the real way we get to our children is not by telling them what to do, not by being strict and rules necessarily, but by showing them with love and care about what you want them to do and how to do it. And that's the story of Tisha B'Av. We come to Tisha B'Av, and our children see the pain within us. And as my little child, Beryl says, Tati, why are you fasting? Last night we were saying Lamentations. He saw there was a tear running down my eye. He said, Ta, why are you crying? And I told him I'm crying because the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. And for 2,000 years we've been in exile. And the world, it's not just that we mourn and cry for the destruction of the temple. We mourn and we cry when we see destruction around us. We see pain. We see suffering. We see people that are sick. We see people that are terminally ill. We see people that have broken marriages. We see people that don't have food to put on the table. We see a world that's fighting. We're in pain. We see what's going on in Israel. So when I asked, my son told me, I told him, this is why I'm crying. And I think it touched him different than if he would have just told him about the Churban Beis Hamikdash. We would have told him about the destruction of the temple. He saw that it was something that was in my heart, something that I cared about. And that's really the key ingredient to Judaism. Our children have to see that we love it and we care it. And we also have to give it to them gently with love. Rabbi Dr. Abraham Tursky passed away a few years ago, a great psychiatrist and Hasidic master, says the story that when he was a young child, his father was taking a nap, it was Rosh Hashanah, and the guest came over. The guest asked him, do you want to play chess? And he said, sure, and they played chess. Later on, his father woke up. And his father says, Abraham, Avram, he called him, did you play chess? Oh, what are you doing? He said, I play chess. He says, are you allowed to play chess on Rosh Hashanah? And the kid says, listen, I asked him. The guy says, you're allowed to. I imagined it was okay. And his father says, Vermila, you're allowed to play chess on Rosh Hashanah, but a kid like you, it's such a holy, special day. You should really spend your time doing more spiritual things. Listens to his father, and as he's about to leave, his father turns around and says, Avramela, with a big smile on his face, did you win the game? Even when his father, Rabbi Tursky always repeats the story, he says, even when my father was admonishing me, not admonishing me, telling me I did something wrong, he did it with so much love, with so much joy. I could see that he loved for me, that he cared for me. That's the story of Shema. How do we teach our children? When we love something and we teach it through love, then we're guaranteed that our children will continue. May these days be turned into topsy-turvy, into days of joy, and may we merit no more brokenness, no more destruction, but a time of redemption and joy and love and happiness for all. Have a great